You know he can't have you on side.
Alright. I wanted to do this. I've been cooking this up. Oh boy. How many of you are uncomfortable right now? Okay, good. How about now? Okay, good. Originally, I didn't want to bring anything in today, but Hermes has brought to my attention this device. Do any of you know what this is?
Flashlight?
You guys think it's a flashlight? I'm going to go ahead and pass this around. I'm just kidding. Now, everybody try to be mature.
Is that one of those?
This is not a flashlight. This indeed is a fleshlight. Be warned, here's a vagina in a flashlight. This is an example of a sex toy. I didn't want to bring this into class. Thank you, Hermes. Basically, alright, now that you guys all know my topic, sex toys.
What do you do with that?
I'd rather not explain.
Please talk.
If I could illustrate, it's what is this, about a foot long? This is unrealistic, but the basic idea is to, I don't know, perform coitus with this. This is a masturbation tool, an aid, if you will. Often it's lubricated because, as you can imagine, things get pretty pressing. I don't want to go into detail on this anymore. This is not the focus of my project. Alright, as you all know, my topic is sex toys, and I wanted to explore how they progressed as things that secretive, that should be kept in the closet, to things that I can discuss with you guys now openly, admittedly to laughter.
Hermes, why are you filming?
I don't know. Anyway, my search began, simply enough, I wanted to do an interview with a sex toy shop. And my first idea was to interview a little shop near my store called Studio 21 Limited. I'm sure some of you have heard of it. They declined, but I did get another sex shop.
What did you want to interview them about? Give us some of the rationale.
Okay. Well, basically, I wanted to ask them a little bit about their store. First off, just to warm things up, to ask them about their inventory and all these things, and then progress on to perhaps their demographic, you know, who mainly shops there and what for and how they've progressed over time, just to give myself an idea of the historical background. Can I play this through the projector, the audio?
Yeah.
Okay. So I did find another sex shop that was willing to do an interview with me on the phone, provided I didn't name them. So I'd like to play that interview for you now.
Hi, this is Shane Lopez, and I'm doing a report on sex toys. I'm speaking here with Amber.
It doesn't sound
Amber's
like
an
you.
employee at an erotica shop. It's declined to be named. Amber, are you with me now on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, well, as I just said, I'm doing a report on sex toys, and I was wondering if I could maybe ask you a few questions about your shop.
Go right ahead.
Okay, first of all, just for my listeners, can you tell me what you sell in your store?
We sell educational and erotica books, and we also sell DVDs. We sell vibrators, lubricants, dildos, butt plugs, and we also do sell some leather and kinky items, along with condoms.
Well, of course. Can you tell me what your top selling item is? You know, like your top selling toy?
Sure. We sell a lot of our vibrators. Those are our biggest selling items. And one of our biggest selling items would actually be the WeVibe. This is a certain kind of vibrator that a person can use whether you're alone or whether you're with your partner during sex. It's U-shaped, and it also provides both chloral and G-spot stimulation.
Okay, just as a backup, if somebody's new to vibrators, what would you recommend they use?
I usually recommend something that's not so expensive until you figure out exactly what you're looking for. On your first vibrator, you really don't want to spend like $100 on it. You want something, you know, you really want to start on something
That's just a basic sample.
Okay, so what was the point of this?
Pardon me?
What was the point of this research? I mean, what did you get from it?
What I wanted to get from it was an affirmation of my previous hypothesis that sex toys have progressed as an article that can be, or not an article, a subject that can be more openly discussed than it was in the past. For the purposes of my study, I focused on from the past 50 years to present day, since, as you can imagine, the history of sex and thereby sex toys is quite long and hard to go over. I did find out that way back in the day, let's see, about 1950s, sex toys were kind of almost a novelty thing. They were used, they were marketed as massagers, personal massagers, not directly for sexual stimulation, but for aches and pains. And they were being sold under the notion that they could cure ladies' hysteria, which was a fake disease whose symptoms included all those of female arousal, pelvic heaviness and wetness and all that good stuff that, goes on. And they had steam-powered dildos, battery-powered dildos. The doctor would tow them around to houses and just, induce an orgasm in the woman, and that would make it go away. As you can imagine, the doctor had to make multiple trips to these houses. Eventually, with the 60s, came the sexual revolution. People started being a little bit more open with their drugs, rock and roll, and sex, and all these different things. And that really kick-started sex toy manufacturing. They were experimenting with new materials, new things. They had to be marketed as these. Now they had to be marketed as sex toys because previously the AMA had declared that ladies' hysteria was no longer a real disease. So they couldn't just sell them at Sears anymore like they used to. They sold them at Sears, yes. And over time, as you can imagine, as with any industry, things progressed. Materials, methods of manufacture, shapes, sizes, colors, flavors, anything you really are into can be made today. I would encourage you to just perform a simple Google search, and you will see that I'm right.
So then would you say these went from being sold at Sears to going underground? And
well, I would definitely say that
coming out from being hidden, they went from mainstream to...
I would say there was a definite dip. Like, as soon as they were, first they were medical devices, and then when everybody said, oh, these are vibrators, they went a little bit under. But then came the sexual revolution, and everybody's like, oh, sex, let's talk about our toys, and let's get more toys, and let's pleasure this guy, and let's pleasure this woman. And it just kept going on, and with experimentation until today. Obviously, I don't think we're sexually carefree today. I'd like to think we're not. But I would say that they have made progress from the time that they were more hidden and obscure to the point now where you can find them in neighborhoods, suburban society. They're very prolific. I don't know, I've got at least 3 or 4 by my house. I'm not sure how it all correlates to you. I'm sure you guys all have 1 or 2. And they're more discussable. I'm here talking about them with you now. And I did find out so that they've become more discussable as items. Anybody have any questions? No questions? Okay. Well, this concludes my presentation. You all lose.